Wait, Underoath? This album's not supposed to come out for another week, meaning the average Crash Thompson review should be out in 7 to 10 months. Did I fall into a coma, or is the motherfucking world just ending? Meh. Okay, A, fuck you, dude. Just, like, wow, come on. Fuck you. And B, I was actually lucky enough to get a promo copy of this one. I also got a promo for the new A Perfect Circle album, so yeah, I'm pretty happy about all that. 22-year-old me would have had an aneurysm at the mere thought of such possibilities, but thankfully 33-year-old me is nice and jaded and cynical enough to maintain a certain level of restraint and sensibility. So, that having been said, the new Underoath, is it good? Oh my god, yes, Queens! Wow, so good! Oh my fucking god, it's wonderful! Hey, I said I'd maintain a certain level of restraint. 0 is a certain level. Oh! But, like, okay, all goofy shit aside, people, yeah, the new Underoath, it just kicks ass! Man, if the first handful of singles have thrown you for a loop, you are going to love the rest of this album. Rapture and On My Teeth probably clued most of you paying attention in on what this album was gonna be like, but let me just confirm a lot of your suspicions here. If those tracks sounded way more angry, dark, and visceral than what you'd expect out of your average Underoath album, it's because most of the album is just like that. Man, this is the most ferocious, most feral, most gnashing and snarling album from these guys I think we've ever heard. It gets downright metal in places. It's admittedly not like behemoth or anything, but to hear a band like Underoath bear this much jaws in their delivery is just crazy to see. Spencer Chamberlain just cuts completely loose with his screaming here. Granted, he was never a pushover by any means. Hell, his pleasantly caustic shrieks were basically one of the biggest selling points of old school Underoath, but here, man, he gives precisely 0 fucks. On tracks like the previously mentioned On My Teeth, the album opener, It Has to Start Somewhere, and other big rager tracks like Sync With You and Hold Your Breath, he's practically breathing lightning with his performances. Hell, even Aaron Gillespie kicks it up a notch here and there. He's not just doing his usual clean, emo, pleasant backdrop shtick. Nah, he rips it apart in a few good places too. And, okay, on that same subject, can I also say his drums? Really fucking good on this album. Probably the best Underoath drumming I've ever heard. Again, like, wow, where the hell was this Gillespie back in the day? While the rest of the instrumentation is really solid, it's Gillespie's drums that really hold this thing together. Again, in sticking with the theme of this album, his playing is loud, dark, and angry. He's pile driving his toms and bass and utilizing a lot of machine gun tempos and fill structures. He doesn't waste an ounce of space, and it's weird to remember that his last major gig was touring drums for Paramore. Yes, that's true, by the way. Okay, look, Hayley Williams, whatever you did to this kid, I owe you a fruit basket for doing it. And while the album's major goal here is to deliver a searing and explosive experience, this is Underoath we're talking about. They do still dabble in electronica. I mean, Christopher Dudley is still a part of the group, he hasn't gone anywhere, but even his influences here build effectively on the darker, heavier themes of this album. His synths are moody, dark, sinister, almost gothic at times. In the album's few mellower tracks, like Wake Me and Bloodlust, his playing helps build atmosphere and color the way he usually does, but the atmosphere he's building is thick with rain clouds, and the color he's painting is like the richest shade of black. God, it almost reminds me of the closing number from their Only Chasing Safety. Some will seek forgiveness, others escape. Dear Christ, am I glad they dropped the long song title gimmick. It sounds a bit like that old track if it were clenching its teeth and clenching its fists and clenching its muscles in a vain attempt to not punch you in the goddamn face. Wow, that's a good metaphor for this album as a whole, isn't it? It's Underoath, but pissed. And man, they are not at all shy about exploring this new, angrier side to them. The lyrics touch on Chamberlain's struggles with substance abuse, his frustrations with religion, his own crises of faith. Like, I was knocked out of my seat the first time I heard On My Teeth and heard him scream, "I'm not your fucking prey." Oh no, he said the F word. They can't drop F-bombs. They're a good Christian band. Oh no, my freaking ears. God, what I wouldn't have given to be in the room when my old friends from Christian school heard that line for the first time. Mwah. Oh, this is a dark, ugly album about uncertainty, about struggle, about relentless conflict, both internal and external, and yeah, I'll bet that does sound a little weird when talking about the same giddy screamo kids who did Up Against the Wall, Up Against the Wall. But guys, like, I gotta tell you, believe the hype. Underoath is back in a big goddamn way here. Apart from being one of their bravest releases ever, this is easily also one of their most tight. Songs are densely packed and richly vibrant without being overly obtuse or needlessly complex. The hooks are all instantly infectious while maintaining a unique approach to melody and instrumentation. This isn't the screamo shenanigans of earlier albums, or the flabby, kinda loosely directed electronica-tinged metalcore of later releases. This is Underoath at their most focused, their most mature, their most refined, and most purely distilled. And as a result of that, it also makes for the most straight-up rock album they've ever produced, and well, you know me, I'm all about that. Underoath lovers, your pre-orders will have not been in vain, and I'd even encourage newbies out there to give this one a shot. You might be in for a very pleasant surprise here. Erase Me gets 5 freaking ears out of 5.
So now you can walk. Yeah.